There's a sacred intelligence beneath everything you see, and it listens, not to your words, but to your vibration. The life you're living now is not a test, not a punishment. It's a mirror, a precise reflection of the frequency you're emitting, not occasionally, but consistently. Your circumstances aren't just happening to you, they're being shaped through you. This is where most people get lost. They try to rearrange the outer world without ever shifting the broadcast coming from within. They change the job, the partner, the city, but the internal signature stays the same, and so does the reality. Bob Proctor said, "Everything in your life is a reflection of your frequency. Change the frequency and you change the results." This isn't just philosophy, it's quantum mechanics. The field, the unified, intelligent energy flowing through all things, responds not to desire, but to coherence. You've probably heard the phrase, "act as if," but this isn't about pretending. It's not performance, it's sacred alignment. When you act from the frequency of already having, already being, already knowing, you're not faking. You're calibrating yourself to the timeline where it already exists. And the quantum field responds. Everything is energy, and energy responds to resonance. When your inner world is aligned with your intention, emotionally, mentally, physically, the outer world must begin to organize itself around that new frequency. It doesn't always happen instantly, but it begins. The signal is sent. The field starts shifting. Think of your current reality as a delayed echo of your past vibration. It's the physical residue of what you've been feeling, believing, and embodying. If there's resistance, lack, or confusion in your life, now it didn't just appear, it was rehearsed, often unconsciously. And that's not a reason for blame. It's an invitation to reclaim your power. You're not here to beg for miracles. You're here to become the vibration that commands them. You're not here to fix a broken life. You're here to remember that nothing is broken once you return to alignment. And alignment begins the moment you stop waiting and start being. This is the shift from sending the field a signal of "Upuas, don't have, I'm not ready, I'm not enough," to radiating "I am, I already am, it's already done." Not because you're delusional, but because you understand. The field doesn't create from logic, it creates from resonance. When Bob Proctor spoke of success, he didn't focus on goals. He focused on vibration. He knew that to change your results, you must first change your frequency. You must lift yourself into the energy of the life you wish to live and stay there, even when your senses still show the old world. This is where faith becomes science, because staying in the vibration of what's not yet visible isn't wishful thinking, it's quantum precision. You're collapsing potential into reality with every breath, every belief, every action that reflects your future self. So who are you being today? Not what are you doing? Not what are you saying? Who are you being? Because your state of being is the most powerful prayer you will ever offer the universe. You must stay in that vibration, even when your senses still show the old world. This is where faith turns into science, because holding the frequency of what's not yet visible isn't wishful thinking, it's quantum precision. With every breath, belief, and down aligned to your future self, you collapse potential into reality. So, who are you being today? Not what are you doing? Not what are you saying? Who are you being? Because your state of being is the most powerful prayer you will ever send into the universe. And the field is always listening, always responding, always shaping reality in service to your vibration. Not your wishes, not your fears, not your hopes, your signal. If life feels like it's asking more of you, maybe it is. Maybe it's waiting for you to become the version of yourself who's already aligned, already ready, already home. When you do, when you think, feel, act, and move from the frequency of having, it all changes. The field doesn't resist coherence. It reflects it. Before the law of attraction, there was something even more fundamental, more ancient, more exact, and more often misunderstood: the law of vibration. Everything vibrates. This isn't poetic metaphor, it's quantum physics. From the smallest subatomic particle to your thoughts, emotions, and intentions, everything carries a frequency. Those frequencies don't stay contained. They ripple outward into the quantum field, invisible ocean of possibility holding every version of reality. Bob Proctor was one of the first to bring this principle into personal transformation. He taught that before you can attract anything, you must align vibrationally with it, because the universe isn't responding to what you say or even what you want. It responds to what you are being. Your dominant frequency is shaped not by your vision, board, or your to-do list, but by your state of being, your self-talk, subconscious beliefs, emotional baseline, and identity. You can say, "I want abundance every morning," but if your core vibration is rooted in scarcity, the field hears scarcity. Joe Dispenza explains it clearly. You can't create a new reality with the same personality. Your personality, your emotional signature, and mental programming broadcasts into the quantum field constantly. And the field, like a cosmic mirror, doesn't respond to appearances. It reflects coherence. So how do you create coherence? It begins with alignment between what you feel and what you intend. Greg Braden calls this the language of the heart, biological and energetic state, where intention and elevated emotion merge into one unified signal. That signal doesn't plead, it commands. Science supports this. The HeartMath Institute has shown that the human heart emits the strongest electromagnetic field of any organ, 60 times stronger than the brain. When your heart and brain are in sync, when emotion and intention harmonize, your body becomes a broadcast tower of resonance. And resonance changes reality. That's why the law of vibration always comes before the law of attraction. Attraction isn't something you do, it's something you become. You don't pull your dream life toward you like a magnet. You tune into the frequency where that life already exists. It's like tuning a radio. The music you want is already playing, but unless your dial is set to the right frequency, you won't hear it. Your ideal life isn't far away, it's a frequency away. And you reach it not by pushing harder, but by vibrating differently. As Bob Proctor used to say, you must become the thing you want. You must vibrate at the level of the life you desire. This means letting go of the belief that simply wanting something is enough. The field doesn't respond to wanting, it responds to being. And being is something you live, breath by breath, choice by choice, thought by thought. This is where many spiritual seekers get stuck. They master intention, but remain beginners in emotion. They can describe their desired future in perfect detail, yet emotionally, they're still rooted in doubt, frustration, or lack. The field responds to the dominant vibration, not the spoken wish. You can't fool the quantum field. You can't pretend your way into manifestation, but you can tune into it. You can align, calibrate, and practice feeling like the version of yourself who already lives the life you dream of. In that practice, the gap between vision and reality begins to close. This isn't magic, it's coherence. It's neurobiology. It's quantum physics. It's the union of ancient wisdom and modern science, available to anyone willing to take responsibility for their vibration. The truth is that the field is always responding, not sometimes, not only when conditions are perfect, but always. That means every moment is a choice point. Every emotion is a signal. Every thought is a vibration cast into the infinite sea of potential. So, what are you sending out today? Not what you hope for, but what you're rehearsing internally. What emotion have you normalized? What identity have you agreed to wear? The law of vibration doesn't just attract, it filters reality. It tunes you to outcomes that match your energetic state. Shift your signal even slightly, and you shift which outcomes can even find you. The future isn't waiting to arrive, it's waiting to be matched. The moment you live by design, not default, by frequency, not fear, the field responds in kind. Reality begins to organize itself in your favor, not because you begged for it, but because you became the frequency that commands it. There's a sacred technology available to every human, yet often misunderstood. It's been watered down into slogans like, "Fake it till you make it." But the truth behind it is far more powerful, ancient, and neurologically precise. To act as if is not to pretend, it's to shift identity. To step out of the frequency of wanting and into the field of being, not as a performance, but as an energetic commitment. Bob Proctor expressed it simply. You have to see with the eyes of the mind before you can touch with the hands. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's vividly imagined and what's physically real. This isn't a metaphor, it's neuroscience. When you imagine yourself already living the life you desire, when you feel it, breathe it, move like it, your brain begins to rewire itself. Neuroplasticity activates, new neural pathways form, your internal model of reality shifts. Old stories dissolve. A new identity takes shape, not someday, but now. This is how acting as if collapses timelines. As your brain constructs the architecture of your future self, your body follows. Hormones shift, posture changes, decision-making evolves, and most importantly, your electromagnetic signature transforms. The HeartMath Institute found that when someone holds an elevated emotion, gratitude, love, while visualizing a clear intention, the heart and brain enter coherence. In that state, the heart's frequency becomes ordered, and the body turns into a magnet for aligned experiences. What does this mean for you? It means that every time you move through your day as the version of you who's already healthy, already abundant, already aligned, you're not pretending. You're attuning your field. You're closing the gap between now and then, embodying it now. But here's the catch. This only works when it's sincere. If you act as if from desperation or manipulation, trying to trick the universe, it backfires. The field isn't fooled by performance. It responds to coherence. Coherence is when your thoughts, emotions, and actions are truly aligned. It means you think abundant, feel abundant, and of abundant, and move as someone who trusts in abundance. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be congruent. This is why so many affirmations fall flat, saying, "I am," wealthy while vibrating fear of money creates discord. The signal gets scrambled. But when you begin to feel wealthy before the evidence appears, when you walk differently, think differently, trust differently, the field takes notice. This is not magical thinking, it's quantum alignment. It's also behavioral psychology. Studies in cognitive science show that behavior influences belief just as much as belief influences behavior. When you move like the person you aspire to be, you begin to believe it's possible, and belief becomes the engine of transformation. You're not waiting for permission. You're becoming the version of you who doesn't need it. Bob Proctor taught that vibration is the key to the entire universe, and vibration doesn't come from what you say. It comes from how you show up. Every micro action you take from the energy of your future self is a vote for that reality. Every time you choose trust over fear, expansion over contraction, action over delay, you're shifting your signature. You're tuning your field. Acting as if is not a temporary mask. It's a rehearsal of truth. It's how you prepare your body and mind to hold the frequency of the life you say you want. It's how you close the gap between imagining and living. So ask yourself, how would I breathe if I were already there? How would I speak? What would I no longer tolerate? What would I commit to fully? Then start. Start small. Start now. The quantum field isn't waiting for your perfection. It's waiting for your congruence. When you step into that version of yourself, even without proof, you're not just wishing, you're transmitting. And the field, ever intelligent, ever listening, begins to move on your behalf. You become a vibrational match for the timeline you once only dreamed of. That's not fiction, that's quantum mechanics. There comes a subtle, quiet, powerful moment when something shifts inside you. You stop chasing. You stop grasping. You stop bargaining with the universe. You start being, not pretending, not wishing, but vibrating from a truth that's already rooted within you. That's when life begins to flow. This isn't passivity, it's potency. A different energy fills your field when you stop trying to get and start realizing you already are. When you vibrate from the frequency of already having, already being, already deserving, the field organizes itself in response. Abraham Hicks calls this alignment, when your energy stops pushing against what is or reaching toward what might be, and instead harmonizes with what already exists in the unseen. That's the essence of quantum manifestation. The version of you who has it all isn't a fantasy, it's a frequency. And that frequency isn't summoned through force, but through resonance. The shift from force to flow isn't intellectual, it's vibrational. You feel it in your nervous system. The survival mode softens. The inner urgency fades. You no longer act from lack, but from overflow. You don't plead for reality to change. You become the change, and the field adjusts. This is your invitation to act, feel, and choose as someone already living in the vibration of your desired life, not performatively, but grounded in trust. Trust in the intelligence of the field. Trust in your worthiness. Trust in your capacity to receive. Bob Proctor often said, "Faith is the ability to see the invisible and believe in the incredible, and that is what enables you to receive the impossible." Faith is not hope. It's not a wish. It's a vibrational stance, a posture of certainty even, when evidence hasn't yet appeared. Faith collapses the gap between vibration and manifestation. It's the energy that declares, I no longer need proof to embody this version of myself, and the moment you release the need for proof, proof begins to appear. That's not coincidence, it's coherence. Because when you vibrate from having, your decisions change. Your body language changes. Your tone of voice, your posture, your boundaries, they all begin to match the frequency of the life you've already claimed. Frequency of abundance, and that clear, steady, resonant signal begins to draw opportunities, people, and ideas that reflect it back to you. This is how flow works. You don't chase alignment, you become aligned, and flow naturally finds you. It's like sailing. You don't push the boat across the water. You catch the wind, position the sail, trust the current, and allow unseen forces to move you forward. The effort shifts from force to guidance. Greg Braden calls this the soft technology of consciousness, the ability to direct reality not through control, but through coherence. When your thoughts, feelings, and actions send a consistent signal into the quantum field, life becomes responsive. And it's not about perfection. You don't have to maintain a high frequency every second of the day. What matters is awareness, the skill of noticing when you've slipped into fear, lack, or doubt, and gently realigning. It's the moment you remember your power to pause, breathe, and choose again. Every moment is a vote. Here's a practice. Before making a decision, pause and say, am I doing this from the energy of already having, or from the fear of not having? Let your energy lead. Let your vibrations speak before your words do. Let your field be the first messenger of your truth. Because when you vibrate in the energy of having, reality responds. The things you used to chase begin arriving on their own. Doors open without logical explanation. Timelines shift, first subtly, then suddenly. And it all begins not with struggle, but with stillness. Not with trying, but with trusting. This is the power of energetic fluency, understanding how to hold the frequency of your future so your present transforms. Not because the external world suddenly changes, but because your relationship with it does. You're no longer waiting for permission. You're no longer bargaining with life. You're co-creating with it, walking as someone who already knows. It's done. It's here, and I'm the one bringing it through. When you vibrate in the energy of the end, the field has no choice but to rearrange everything to meet you there. You're not here to wait for a sign. You are the sign. You are the signal. You are the field in motion. And the way you show up in this moment is writing your next reality. Reality isn't waiting for the perfect time. It's responding to the now, to this breath, this belief, this vibration. You don't need to fix everything first. You don't need every answer, the money, or the perfect external support. What you need is presence, conscious, committed, coherent presence. The quantum field doesn't measure time the way you do. It doesn't wait for someday. It reads now. It moves now. It shapes itself according to the clarity, consistency, and intensity of who you are being right now. And the beautiful truth is, presence can be practiced. It begins with awareness. The calm, grounded awareness that you are not your thoughts, not your fears, not your past. You are the one who observes, who chooses, who creates. Bob Proctor taught this again and again. Hold the image of what you want. Lock into it. Stay with it and don't let it go. The moment you do, the field begins to rearrange itself. Bring this into practice by starting with visualization, not as a passive daydream, but as a daily act of creation. Close your eyes and see the version of yourself already living the life you desire. Not in fantasy, but in frequency. Feel what they feel. Think what they think. Move how they move. Let that image become more real than your doubts. Then, breathe it into your system. Use your breath to synchronize your nervous system, your mind, and your energy field. Inhale as your future self. Exhale as your new frequency. Let your breath become the anchor into the version of you that already exists. Then write. Pick up a pen and write from your future, not to it. Describe your day, your energy, your relationships, your freedom, as if it's already yours. This is not make-believe, it's neuroplasticity. You are training your brain to recognize new pathways, tuning your heart into coherence, and broadcasting a new electromagnetic signature. The field is listening. These small acts are quantum in nature because they dissolve resistance, align your timeline, and embed your presence with precision. Greg Braden calls this conscious participation in the quantum field. Joe Dispenza affirms, when you think from the end and feel from the end, your brain and body believe it's already happening. That's when your biology shifts and your reality follows. Manifestation doesn't come from effort, it comes from energetic clarity. And clarity begins not with perfection, but with stillness. When you decide to show up daily as your future self, you're not pretending, you're rehearsing. You're stabilizing that vibration until the outside world has no choice but to mirror it. The field does not respond to need, it responds to embodiment. And embodiment isn't about being fearless, it's about being faithful to the version of you who already knows how this ends. So choose one ritual, one small act each day that says, to the universe, I remember who I am becoming. Do it with reverence. Do it with presence. Don't wait for the world to shift. Let the shift begin with you. As Bob Proctor said, it's not about changing the world. It's about changing the image you hold of yourself, and the world changes in response. You reprogram the field every time you show up in alignment. Hold the vision and breathe with intention. Your presence is a command. Your focus is a frequency. Your being is the bridge between possibility and manifestation. Don't wait for signs, be the signal. The field isn't asking for perfection, it's asking for coherence. And coherence begins when you decide, I am ready now. There's nothing to chase, nothing to prove, nothing to earn, because the version of you who already has the life you want already exists. Not in some distant future, but right now, vibrating in the quantum field, waiting for you to meet it, not by trying harder, but by becoming still enough to remember. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you are. Not who you pretend to be, not who you perform to be, but who you are in the quiet, invisible, vibrational space beneath your words and actions. The abundance you seek is already alive in the you who knows you are worthy without question. The love you desire is already surrounding the you who no longer hides their heart. The purpose you crave is already guiding the you who trusts their inner knowing over fear. You're not climbing a ladder. You're removing the layers, blocking your light. You're dissolving the illusion of distance between you and your desires. The universe doesn't work in time. It works in alignment. And alignment is not achieved. It's allowed. Bob Proctor used to say, faith and fear both demand you believe in something you can't see. You choose. There's a frequency that creates effortlessly. It doesn't beg, hustle, or hope. It radiates, magnetizes, and organizes reality around its coherence. That frequency is already within you. It's not something you add, it's something you uncover. So stop waiting for a sign. Stop asking if you're ready. Stop questioning your worth. Breathe as the person who already lives that truth. See yourself through the eyes of your future self. Hear your thoughts as if they're coming from someone who's already arrived. Move through your day as if the universe is your trusted dance partner, or get in sync with your rhythm. The field isn't testing you, it's mirroring you. It's a quantum echo of who you're being now. If you want something new to appear, you must become something new, not through force, but through faith, choice, and gentle, radical self-remembrance. You already are the one who gets to live the dream. You already are the one who deserves the love, the freedom, the joy. You already are the one who shifts timelines through presence. Stand still. Breathe deep. Declare to the field, without words, just energy. Already am, not because saying it will make it happen, but because becoming it is what makes it real.